Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Cara and I'm an English teacher for Number One Institute and I teach English here. So I'm on Facebook and YouTube at the moment. I'm doing the 30-day Corona English Challenge where I challenge myself to teach English here every day, and we are already at day 25. So if you're here, I hope you are well. Hi Saeed. Saeed, make sure you check out yesterday's lesson because that is something that you were asking for. Jane, Derse, good to see you again. Who else is here? If you're here, make sure you say hello. Right. Hi Clesio. And tell me, what are your plans for today? What have you been doing, or what are you going to do today? In this lesson, I'm going to be talking about a useful structure for making requests. And we need to remember that sometimes they are very formal and very polite, and sometimes they are just casual. So you might ask a friend or a brother or someone just to pass something at the table. So there are different levels of requests. Gertrudis, welcome. And where are you from? So my name is Cara and I'm from Australia. Hi Ali. Are you going to practice boxing? That sounds good. Is that something you can do at home? Hi Carol, good to see you again. Hi Paulino. I'm glad you're well, Jane. Okay. Alright, so these are the words that we're going to be looking at. Would, could, can and may. So I'm going to teach you how to make a request. So that's when you ask someone to do something or when you ask for something. And then also when you ask for permission. So when you ask someone to allow or let you do something. So when you want to do something. Dominican Republic. Great. Well, welcome. So, let's start with making a request when you want someone else to do something. So, you can use can or could. Could you help me, or can you help me? Now, could is a little bit more formal. Just a little bit. So you can say, can you help me, or could you help me? You can also say, can you give me a hand? And that means help me. Or could you give me a hand? A little bit more formal, we want to say, excuse me. Excuse me, could you please tell me where the post office is? Where's my pen? Oh, you've been celebrating someone's birthday. That's great. Hi, Maria. Ali, Sudanese and living in Cairo. Okay. And how are you going with the coronavirus? I hope it's okay. I haven't heard about Egypt. Okay, so this last one here is extra polite, and we know that because we've got excuse me, we've got could. Okay, so could is a little bit more polite than can, and then of course we've got please. And in English speaking countries like Australia, like the UK, we like to be extra polite. So if you're visiting or you're speaking to someone from an English-speaking country, always be more polite than less polite. okay? So we never just say, help me. All right. All right. Now, another structure. Do you think you could? So this is even more polite, or it's when you're making a bigger request. So some favors are very small, like, could you pass me your pen? Some favors are bigger. Do you think you could help me with my assignment? Do you think you can help me with my assignment? So they have the same meaning. All right, and lastly on this page, so asking someone to do something. Would you mind helping me? So this is would you mind with the verb with ing. So after mind, we need the gerund. Would you mind helping me? Would you mind giving me a hand? Would you mind helping me with my assignments? Would you mind telling me where the post office is? Okay. Now the only tricky thing with this one is the answer. And it's tricky for everyone. Native speakers can also get confused because for most requests, like, could you help me? The answer is yes, I can help you, or no, I can't help you. But would you mind helping me? Well, that's more confusing because no, I don't mind helping you means I will help you. And yes, I do mind helping you means no, I won't help you. So the answer can be a little bit confusing. So it's better with this one if you don't just say yes or no. Like for this one, you can say yes or no, it's fine. But would you mind helping me move this table? Yes. It's like, you mind or you're going to help me? It's a little bit confusing. So often we say, oh, not at all, I'm happy to help, or of course, that's no problem. So give a little bit more information depending on the request so that there's no confusion. Hi Carrie, good to see you on Facebook. All right, we'll do that at the end. Okay, so what about making a request to ask for something? So this is not to ask someone to do something, but just to ask for a thing. Can I have, could I have, can I get? So can I have 3 coffees, please? For example. So we never say, give me 3 coffees. In some languages, you can say that and it's not rude, it's polite. Give me 3 coffees. But 90% of the time in English, that's rude. Now you might hear it and it's a whole cultural context where someone says, okay, give me 3 coffees. They know the person well, or they have this relationship where they can say that and it's not rude and it's in their intonation, but it's a bit risky. So the safest thing to do is to say, can I have, could I have, or can I get? Can I get 3 coffees? Okay, and then I've also put may here. May I have your attention? So may is very formal. It was more common many years ago. It's not very common these days. So the first one, may I have your attention, means, where might you hear this? maybe on an aeroplane or in a airport where there's a loudspeaker and somebody's speaking on the microphone at an event, and it's very formal. May I have your attention? And that means listen to me. May I have your name? So this is probably a customer service situation, maybe at a hotel or at a restaurant. So when there's more politeness is common. May I have your name? Okay, so we've done how to ask someone to do something and then how to ask for something. Now we're going to be super polite. So these are some other structures that are a little bit more complicated. Do you think it would be possible to take the exam later? So do you think it would be possible? Would there be any possibility of taking the exam later? So in this case, you can see that the verb has changed. So in the first one, we've got to take, and in the second one, of taking. Okay. Someone else from Portugal. Hi Miriam. And Yuri, is it true that we must use may only with I? Yes, that's true, Yuri. So we say may I or may we. Good. Okay. So would you be kind enough to let me have your seat? So this is I'm trying to think of a situation where you would be extra polite. And I've got here, I don't know if you can see well, but it's a pregnant woman on public transport. And I don't know, you can tell me in your country, but in Australia, if there is a pregnant woman, you should give them your seat. So if you're sitting on the bus or the train and a pregnant woman is standing or an older person is standing, then the polite thing to do is to give them your seat. But if nobody does, because these days everybody is just staring at their phone, then the woman might be really tired and want to sit down, so she could ask somebody to give them their seat. And it's a stranger and it's a little bit uncomfortable, an awkward question. So she would want to be very polite. Would you be kind enough to let me have your seat? Or could you possibly let me have your seat? Or I'd really appreciate it if you could let me have your seat. You couldn't let me have your seat, could you? So the last one is a tag question. Oops, here. And we did these a few days ago. So if you'd like to learn tag questions, then just have a look in the at the other videos from this week and you can learn about tag questions. Right, so there's lots and lots and lots of different ways that we ask politely. We make a request. You'll see that we use possible. We've got a highlighter. We've got possible. Possible, possibility, possibly a few times. We've definitely got would and could, not can. Yeah. So with these ones, you probably don't need to say please. But in English, we use please and thank you a lot. So if you're not sure, say please. If you think it might be necessary, say please. But really for these ones, you don't need to. All right. All right, so now asking permission. So this is when the person asking wants to do something, not when they want someone else to do something. Okay, so you can use can, could, and may. So the same words for request. For example, can I borrow the car? Could I speak to the manager? Again, could is a little bit more polite than can. And may I leave the table? So may, again, is more common, was more common in the past. And so it's extra polite. However, may I leave the table is something that many parents teach their child to say. So everybody's having dinner, lunch or dinner, and everybody's talking, and the child is bored and they don't want to be there. They want to go and play, they want to go watch TV, but they can't. They have to stay at the table. But if they ask, may I leave the table? Then maybe the adult will say, okay. Or that's the rule. They must ask politely if they want to leave the table. So this is about manners and parents teaching their children to say, may I leave the table? Okay, so quickly going back, we've done how to make a request for someone to do something. Can or could. Do you think you could? Would you mind with the verb ing? Would you mind helping? Asking for something. Can I have? Could I have? Can I get? And then these super polite examples if you're extra advanced. And then asking permission. So, what could people say for each of these situations? Number one, you would like the salt passed to you. So now I want you to write. So there are many, many, many ways you can say these, not one correct answer. So I want you to think, how could you say it, and write it in the comments. All right, so number one, you would like the salt passed to you. Number two, you would like an extension on your assignment. Number three, you want to buy a coffee. And number four, you want help moving house. So think about, in these situations, who you are talking to, and is it a big request or a small request? And that will help you decide which words to use. Do you need to be extra polite, or can you be informal? Carrie says, will you teach your baby to say may? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's very common these days. Juliana from Colombia. How are you? What a nice surprise. How's your English? Well, you can do this exercise and I can see. we've got and good. So Yuri and Clesio, answer number 1. Right, so feel free to start on number 2 when you would like an extension on your assignment, and I'll pop the answers. Oh, hi Hong. Good, Yuri. Good, Gertrudis, and good, Carol. So Yuri, remember, may I or may we? I might put so Yuri's asked what is an extension on an assignment. So if your assignment is due tomorrow and you haven't finished, then today you go to the teacher and you say, can I give it to you next week? So having a longer period of time before you submit your assignments. Good, okay. Right. Great. So well done, everyone. So I'm just going to go through. So first, you would like the salt. So you're sitting at a table and you want the salt. So you could say, can you pass me the salt, please? And I think it was Yuri said, if it was a friend, can you pass me the salt, please? Good. Could you pass me the salt, please? A little bit more polite. And could you please pass me the salt? So a different word order. So all of these are correct. Oops. Cool. All right, number 2. So an extension on an assignment. So may I have an extension on my assignment? Good. And then this part, great. So I had a lot of work yesterday. This is what we call an excuse. An excuse. So this is the first part is the request, and the second part is an excuse. Would you like? Okay, so not like. Would you mind giving me an extension on my assignment, please? Good. So would you mind, we always have the gerund after it, like. Would you mind giving me an extension on my assignment? Okay, so the teacher gives you the assignment, but it's then yours. Okay, you have to do it. Great. All right, you want a coffee? Could I get a cup of coffee, please? So this is at a coffee shop. And then can I get a coffee? And that's with friends. So I guess you mean at somebody's house. And I'm just thinking, like, if I was at a friend's house, it depends on the friend. If it's a very, 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 very close friend, I would say that. But if it's just a good friend and I don't go to their house every day, then I would be extra polite, because at a shop they are paid to give you coffees. So you give them money. So they have to be nice to you. But your friends does not work for you. So it's a bigger request if you want a coffee at your friend's place. You might offer to make the coffee. Yeah, but if I was at a friend's house, what would I say? You know, I would probably say, I might write it here. Let's see. Would it be possible for... So I'm using that word possible, yeah? So it means it's a bigger request for me to get a coffee. I'm happy to make it. Okay. Just... there we go. Would it be possible for me to get a coffee? Me to get or have? I'm happy to make it. And then could I have 3 coffees, please? Perfect. All right, number 4. Hi, Edmonton. Good to see you again. Almost. Do you mind helping me? Don't need that. So do you mind helping me move? And you don't need my, because we know it's your house. Move house. Would you mind helping me to move is also okay. So yeah, so the 2 is correct and no 2 is also correct. Could you give me a hand moving house? PowerPoint doesn't like it, but it's fine. I will get rid of those. Microsoft is not always correct with the grammar. What? could you mind, okay, so this one, yeah, could you give me a hand? Moving house is right. Would you mind giving me a hand to, so if you use to, then you say move or hand moving house. All right. Good. So you can either say to move is also correct, and so moving is correct with no to. All right. Great. Any more? I think I have everyone's. Good. So I hope that helped you. There are lots and lots of different ways that we can make requests, and it's important to think of the context and who you're talking to, but it's always better to be more polite than less polite. Okay, so I'm just giving you the link to all the other lessons in this series of the 30-day challenge, and then here is a link to a playlist on conversation lessons. So lots of this kind of thing, but also where you listen to a conversation. All right, I think that one. Okay, let's go. Yeah. So let's quickly do yesterday's homework. So this was about nouns that are always plural, and then some other tricky, challenging things about plurals. So you can just write the number and then the correct word. Good. I might just upload. So Jose, correct. Good Jane, good Clesio. Good. Well done, Yuri. Yep, well done, Maria. Jane, good. Desse again. Jane was excellent. Oh, hello, Abu. You're correct. 4 are good. Well done, Jane. Well done, Dose with number 3. Jane, well done. Number 5. Dose 4 are good. Oh, Miriam, very good. R. Dose, they are good. Some people are very quick. Well done, Miriam. Good, I think we're all there. All right. So yeah, please check out the links that I just sent through in the comments. You can watch some other conversation lessons and see the other lessons that we have done so far in this 30-day challenge. Oh, well done, Maria, for number 5 too. Thank you very much for watching. Please tell your friends if you think that they would also like to learn English this way. I think I've got a request from Maria for some conditional structures, which is really useful. So they're sentences that start with if something something. So we'll start doing them from tomorrow. So thanks, Maria, for the request, and I will see you all again tomorrow. All right, have a great day. Bye.